Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. In this video, we are diving into a merger involving Helix Acquisition Corp 2, a special purpose acquisition company with a questionable name. So someone had to change it to BridgeBio, Oncology, Therapeutics. I promise the regulatory findings we are going to find are not what you expect. As before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below with all your corporate nerd needs. First, let's look at who is expecting to run this new company. Eli Wallace, a seasoned leader in oncology, will serve as Chief Executive Officer. The board is also set to include recognized names like Neil Kumar and Frank McCormick. Having strong leadership is crucial for a company entering such a competitive market. Now, let's get into the meat of this filing. Starting with a high-level look at what we are about to break down, we are going to see some common things in SEC filings like the risk factors, financial information, share dilution, and agreements about the business combinations. Let's set the scene and understand what we're dealing with. This is a merger between Helix Acquisition Corp 2, a special purpose acquisition company, and the RAS, a business going by BridgeBio Oncology Therapeutics. Basically, they are merging together to allow Theas to become a publicly traded company. Here's what that all means from the terms. The deal values the RAS at roughly $461 million. The final number of shares issued depends on the share price and how many Helix shareholders decide to redeem their shares. Who's handling the regulatory compliance and filing? It looks like the company is stating that it's neither an accelerated filer nor a large accelerated filer. However, given that the company is merged, we can expect changes to this statement. There's a bunch of legal boilerplate, but what actually catches my eye will be the equity ownership of things to come. Let's cut to the chase and look at who get what percent using a real world low number in redemption scenario. It's anticipated that public shareholders, ex-Cormorant, an investment firm who is already invested in Helix, will own approximately 13.3% of the company. It's important to note that public shareholders own 68.1% of Helix, so they will experience immediate dilution as a consequence of the deal. A critical point to keep in mind for stockholders is that the sponsor will receive 4,172,132,100 and Fetchy of Pubja found Ajit Tamarant will receive 6,998,042 shares of Pubco common stock, equal to approximately their $75 million PIFE investment amount divided by redemption price. Basically, those that are running this thing are getting a massive profit either way, thanks to cheap shares in the beginning. There are potential material conflicts of interest. The shares issued to the sponsor and the reimbursement of loans and advances. You should keep in mind that the sponsor Cormorant and Helix's officers and directors and their affiliates have interests in the business combination that could conflict with your interests. It's worth taking a look at all those as things to keep in mind. There are some serious risk factors present. Any investor should read these over before making an investment decision, and I'm only mentioning a few highlights. This point is worth diving into. This is a clinical stage company that hasn't completed any clinical trials, has no products approved for commercial sale, has never commercialized a product, and has not generated any revenue. Basically, they still have many milestones to go before anyone can see a return. We are going to see if it's worth it later. A key risk is that trials may not be accepted. This is big if they performed a clinical trial and it can't be used. That costs a lot of money now wasted. One big risk is the uncertainty surrounding shareholder redemptions, which could impact the cash available and overall financial stability of the combined company. There are so many pages in this filing and we didn't even get to the backloaded sections, but fear not. Let's get to the good stuff. So how is their financial presentation? BBOT's financials are in US GAAP for the years 2024 and 2023, so it's apples to apples. Finally, some real numbers. Here we have a pro forma results, which means these aren't their actual numbers right now. These are how the numbers will look through if the transaction happens, but there is value in looking into these because we can get an idea what is the plan. There are 4 scenarios we have to consider, from no redemptions to full redemptions of shares. What the big part we should look at is the going concern concept, which is how much money is in the trust account. Check this number specifically, 17,345,715. This number in 75% redemption scenario determines the 100% number. You see, the higher the redemptions from shareholders, the worse shape the company's cash situation is. You would want high cash for something like biotech that requires so much cash. Here's the ugly part. Check the dilution to non-redeeming public shareholders. A large number of shares as defined on the previous steps will cause dilution and losses. Let's put it all together after reviewing this SEC filing. This SEC filing outlines a high-stakes move in the biotech world. But it's interesting to see that BBOT is going public via SPAC with Helix 2 at a $400+ million valuation. And Avensiders walk away very happy regardless. Adminsiders walk away very happy regardless. Overall, the move is highly speculative. Investing in it will only be an evaluation on how well they manage their resources combined with very risky and costly clinical stage bets. Alright, that's our breakdown of this new Form S4 filing. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.